welcome to Go Watch a Movie episode 63. I'm Kelvin.
And I'm Robert.
Today, the conversation continues with Creed and Creed 2. And we hope you guys join in with that. But first, we're going to get into a bit of entertainment news. Not a lot of entertainment news. I did see something that got me a little interested. Resident Evil films are getting rebooted.
Ooh, interesting.
I really loved the first one, and then they went south. They went a direction.
Yeah, they went south. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that first one though, legit, almost horror, like horror action, whatever you want to call it. But it was fantastic.
They did stick with the same actors all the way through, though. I mean, some of them go downhill and then they just switch people and it's just a ridiculous mess. But you can't say that much. If nothing else, they were consistent with that.
Yes, I did. Yeah, but she got like God mode by that last. Do you think the series will hurt without her, or you think they can find some new?
I don't really know if she was the glue that held that together. I mean, she may have been.
Yeah.
But she wasn't really doing. She's doing other stuff, but she's
that monster hunter now.
But at the time, she wasn't really doing like a whole lot of stuff. Even though I think she was a well-known name for me anyway. I knew her.
Good old Mila, yeah. She even has an album. Multipass.
She even has an album. She's a singer.
What?
She has an album.
Any good?
She has an album.
Is it in Russian?
She sings one song in Russian, I believe.
Okay.
Or in another language that I assume is Russian.
Yeah.
Because I don't.
Djokovic.
I don't know.
Huh. The more you know.
The more you know.
Well, yeah. Like I said, I'm kind of looking forward to that because, like I said, if they go the route the first one went and kind of stick with that. But I guess the games also get crazier as well.
Yeah, but sometimes like going from game to movie is just rough. Like they don't necessarily work. They become Mario Brothers. They become like I liked Mario Brothers.
So did I, but a lot of people didn't.
They become a cheesy like that. What's that House of the Dead thing?
Oh yeah,
which is like one of the worst movies.
But the game is like...
And then House of the Dead 2 is like, it's supposedly better. It's supposedly really good compared to the first one. But even that one's like it looks like a made for sci-fi channel movie.
Those games were not the best to pull from. I don't think they should have. But I guess, yeah, I agree. But they should have... Yeah, they should have toned it down.
One thing I tell you what, though, Silent Hill, that was a game, right?
Yes.
I'm stupid because I don't play a lot of games.
Oh, you're good.
That move, the first Silent Hill,
amazing.
Boom, they nailed it. That's what they should do with this new reboot. Hopefully,
I don't see how the other ones have been going straight to like DVD.
That the other one wasn't very good.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that.
Second one, I don't recommend it.
Okay,
but that first Silent Hill was just so amazing,
fantastic. If we learn anything, the games are getting part 1 right. So,
yeah.
Which I guess brings me to the next thing. Paramount put out, Paramount? I'm sorry if that's not right. Paramount put out the first Sonic poster for the new
Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yes. I'm not sure if it's going to be live action. I know he's CG and Jim Carrey's playing Dr. Robotnik. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? You said Jim Carrey. I'm like, okay. It's going to, before you said that, I was like, what are you talking about? No. Oh, Jim Carrey. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm so far removed from Sonic. It's been so long, other than Smash Brothers. I mean, I'm going to watch it, of course, but.
Right. I'll check it out.
Did you ever watch like any of the Sonic cartoons?
I did.
One of the guys on Facebook, he was talking about how he hated some, but then I was like, but there was this one good Sonic cartoon where Dr. Robotnik had like won and conquered everything, and the Sonic and Tails and the other ones were rebels. That one was fantastic. I don't know if you ever saw that one, but it was real good. But yeah.
I remember there was a lot of like jets and like mechs and stuff.
Yeah,
I thought it was just about this little hedgehog that should be running around.
I don't know how he fits into that world, but somehow they made it work.
They just did some weird thing with it. I don't know. Whatever. It worked. It's cartoon.
I've never looked into the backstory of Sonic. I honestly, after all these years.
We know he's a blue hedgehog.
I mean, yeah, and he has a fox with two tails.
Which gives you enough questions right there. I don't want to delve deeper.
What else do you need to know? He wears shoes and he can run real fast. This last bit of entertainment news is a soft spot, and I will tread lightly because I don't want to piss anyone off.
Why not just stomp all over it then?
Kevin Hart was in one day. I was so excited because he's been, he had that show, The Real Husbands of Hollywood, where his character's main goal was to host the Oscars. And he said before, this is one of the things that he's wanted to do is host the Oscars. It was announced Kevin Hart's going to host the Oscars. Woo! He got it. And I look up to Kevin Hart. I think he's a stand-up dude. He's done a lot of good things. He's still doing good things. And then the very next day, maybe less than 24 hours, it's stripped away because of some old tweets from 9 or 10 years ago. James Gunn effect. Yeah,
do you think he was correct to say, no, I'm not going to apologize? I've already apologized for it, so I'm not going to do it again just so I can do the Oscars. They're going to make me jump through some hoops, but I'm not going to do it because I'm Kevin Hart. Or should he just have done it and just said, I'm sorry? And
I see what he's saying to a point, because he was pointing out the fact that there are people, trolls, who are going to try and take you down no matter what you do. Mm-hmm. And you shouldn't let them dictate your life. That's the point he was trying to make. He wasn't saying, oh, forget, what the comments I made. They're not worth of my apology. He wasn't saying, he was just saying, look, yes, I said these things. I've apologized for those things. But the fact that they're even being talked about right now is ridiculous, because clearly I've changed. Look at everything that I've done over the last, 8 years compared to that guy I was. Does that make it better? No. But he stuck to his guns as far as the Oscars thing, because later that night after he posted that, he did come out on Twitter and apologize to homosexuals and apologize, for those comments. And then he's like, I'm going to step down. I'll take a pass on the Oscars, even though I'm apologizing, which shows that he's like, look, if you guys are going to be this petty, because they've had some, questionable hosts. 2 years ago, they wanted Eddie Murphy. Mm-hmm. You look back at Eddie Murphy's Raw, that F word is flying.
Yeah, it's not just the F word, even the content. Like, there's my opinion on this. There's two instances where you can say the stuff that's offensive and not really get in trouble for it. One of them is if you're having an educational conversation and you're discussing it, some words shouldn't be used, but if you can have an educated conversation about it, that's okay to use it just for that. And then the other time is comedy. People are going to say something offensive, and it's the point of comedy. They don't necessarily do it to be politically correct. It's supposed to be that one place where you can go and say that crazy thing that nobody's supposed to be able to say,
and people laugh at it.
And you laugh at it, and then you're done. It's it's a breath of fresh air, and then it's over. So I don't think he should have. I mean, he's a comedian. I think it was his. I think Nick Cannon, if I'm correct, came out in defense of him
and started pointing out, hey,
all these other females.
This person did this. Yet you still have them.
Yeah. And I think he did a perfect job of defending him and then supporting not just the cause for comedians, but just, decent people. And why would you do this to him and then not to these other people? But that's it's whatever. I think he made the right decision.
Yeah. And I like that he's sticking to his guns. It's like, we know this is something you've wanted forever, yet you're still willing to,
he doesn't really need it. He wants it, but he didn't need it though.
Oh, God,
he's so freaking huge.
God, no, yeah.
It's almost like a little thing that's like, it would have been nice, but you know what? Not in this. If you want to come at me correctly and ask me to do it and then not be all like, you need to go and apologize for something, then sure, I'll do it. But that's when you want to do it, not when someone's gonna.
As he said, he calls himself the comedian rock star, and that's pretty much what the dude makes.
Yeah, it's like they wanted to break him.
So much money on freaking his comedy specials and movies and production company and all that. And I know it's not about that, and I know we're not glancing over the fact that there were some people who were offended.
Yeah, we're not saying it's okay to say things like that. Yeah. I'm just saying there's certain instances, like an educated conversation and comedy. Those are the two places where it's okay to be silly. I guess the internet should be the third because everybody says it, but still, I don't think it's right.
Yeah,
I think people should calm down, but you're not going to calm down somebody who has the ability to hide behind a computer screen and say whatever they want.
I mean,
it's cowardice, and I guess there's just a lot of cowards out there.
If we really want to offend people, I mean, I guess we can just grab him by the pussy, but wait, I'm sorry, that doesn't even work. I mean, you can still get elected president. How do I doing that?
No,
wait, sorry.
Yeah, doesn't work. We learned that just recently. We didn't know that. We thought that was not okay.
Well, probably that's fine, but not the other stuff. Anyway, that's gonna get us into trailer.
I believe we have a dual trailer this time. We actually talked to each other before to find out. So we have a dual trailer we'd like to introduce.
Because it was just that good.
Yes. Why don't you go?
Brightburn.
Bam.
This is, speak of the devil and he shall arise, kind of the same issue that Kevin Hart went through. The creator and writer of this went through the same thing with Disney. James Gunn, director, writer, has created a movie called Brightburn, and my God, was I not blown away by this trailer?
Yeah, I was sitting there watching. I'm thinking, I didn't know anything about it, so I'm thinking this looks a lot like the Superman story, like an idiot. You know, I was like, well, duh. I think it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and it's and I think I'm hoping that he dives deeper into that, because I've always thought, like, yeah, Ma and Pa Kent are smart. They're good people. This is Kansas. Everyone's nice to you, but it's like, you're a child.
Kid's got to be a kid
going through like
something that nobody else on the planet is going through,
and puberty,
and nobody can say
and all that, like, and then all of a sudden, like, now you can fucking jump further than anyone. You're stronger than anyone.
You can chew on forks.
And like, that would fuck a child up.
Mm-hmm. It looks more realistic, because it's almost like this is what he would actually have to go through before he becomes the good guy.
Yeah,
he has to go through that stage, that awkward, weird stage where everything's like, he's so powerful, he can do whatever he wants. And of course, a kid who can have that kind of power is going to want to abuse it. How could he not? And
just the sound thing alone, like as we've seen in other Superman movies, like the I think it was what was it, Man of Steel, that was best depicted in, where it showed flashes of everyone as he like cowered in the closet. Like, can you imagine that? Like,
just think about, this was such a good idea, but just think about being in the house. The parents can't even sit in their private bedroom and talk about how they're going to discipline their son because he's listening to them.
Yep.
That's just so freaky and crazy. Let's not even get into
if they want to bump uglies.
Yeah, it's not happening. No wonder he went crazy and he started wanting to kill folks. And I love the mask because it's such a weird.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to say Donnie Darko, but I can't even think of what I'm thinking of when I say it. It just looks so weird and perfect.
It's dark. And one of the other reasons I think they're gonna go into the craziness is like he's drawn that symbol all over the freaking place, you know, whatever that was, maybe his home world, I don't know, but. Whew.
It looks amazing. If you haven't watched this trailer, you definitely need to check it out. I watched it on YouTube, and there was a comment on the bottom of it that just made me laugh for the longest time. And it's pretty common. It was just like, damn, like, Clark, eat a Snickers. You're just not yourself. And I laughed forever.
Oh man, do you think like the Marvel and Disney execs saw this and were like, shit?
Probably.
That's what we let go.
We're gonna have to wait and see what this does, but I still think there's a lot of purists that are gonna be like, mad.
I'm gonna go on a tangent real quick here. Like I've been listening to a lot of podcasts where he goes on and he tells a story of when he went to them for Guardians of the Galaxy, and they say they pitched the idea to him. We want Guardians of the Galaxy to become, you know, a movie, and he's like, okay. That's fine. And it's like, you know, most people either haven't heard of Guardians of the Galaxy, and if they did, they were like, oh, that's not very good. You know? But he's like, on my way home, I was going to not take it. But I start thinking like, okay, so there's a raccoon. I'm not just going to go the Disney route and, oh boy, you know, this raccoon's broken. This raccoon's hurt. No one likes him. He doesn't fit in. That's going to be the center of this team.
I think he maybe even almost thought of it as a challenge.
Yeah.
Of how am I going to make this thing that most people either don't know about or like be cool, and he figured it out. I think he did it as a challenge to himself.
Why would you let that go? Forget those. I mean, yeah, they were obscene, but come on.
Well, everybody has thoughts and says weird crap. I will admit there is a line.
Yeah, there is a line.
There's always a line, but there's also forgiveness.
Yeah.
But I'll agree. Yes, some things you shouldn't necessarily forgive.
Yeah.
But you should at least give somebody the opportunity to
redeem themselves.
To redeem themselves.
Yeah. But now he's got this movie coming. He's doing Suicide Squad 2. I wonder if it's like DC, even DC, because this is a Sony film. Like DC is like, hey, we could have used that. Mm-hmm. What are you doing? Right. Okay, now that will bring us to Creed 1 and 2. Starting with 1. Rock, you want to introduce the Creed movies for us? Hey, yo, I'm happy to be here. Glad you let me come. Yeah. The first Rocky. I'm sorry. It's like Stallone.
You tried.
I tried.
I couldn't do any better.
Creed 1. In 2015, let's see here. It was PG-13. This one, Sylvester Stallone, Michael B. Jordan, Tessa Thompson, Andre Ward, Felicia Rashad, Wood Harris, Tony Bello, who played Pretty Ricky, the antagonist. This one, I believe it's trying to get to the written and directed by. I'm thinking it was Sly because he did all the Rockies himself. But yeah, so we get introduced to a continuation of the story. Like this can be part of the Rocky franchise.
This is the Rocky. Yeah. This is the Rocky franchise. Okay. This is just carrying on. This is just Rocky in his older years, and it centers around Creed.
Yes, the Adonis.
Yes.
Or Danny, as they call him. Yeah. Which Adonis, Danny? Where is that? Don, is it Donnie? Maybe they call him Donnie.
I don't know. I call him Creed.
Creed. Yes. So as we know, the Russian killed Creed. Ryan Coogler directed part 1. It's produced by screenplay by Ryan Coogler and Aaron Covington. All right. Just wanted to clear that up. But yeah, so Creed, Apollo, flashy, kind of the fictional version of Muhammad Ali.
Ever the showman?
Yes, a big showman. He beat Rocky in part 1. Rocky part 1. Rocky came back in part 2. When they become friends, good friends, but then Drago. Oh, I will break you.
I must break you.
He did.
I must break you.
He killed Apollo Creed, and of course Rocky comes back and beats him. Then here we are.
Many a year later, like
many
30
years later,
I don't know how many.
And we find out he has a son. And he's, never really accepted his father. He's trying to distance himself from his father, but he has taken up boxing. Mm-hmm. And what gets him started in part 1 in the boxing? I mean, to go meet Rocky, I should say.
I think he's just trying to work his way up without using Creed's name. And I think he just happens to, he obviously knows that his dad knew Rocky, so why not get trained by the best? Something to that effect. So he meets him and then they ask him and he's like, sure. So then they start training. Yeah. Basically. That's a shortened version of what really happened, but yeah.
But he does lose a couple times in this one. Because he goes to fight the top guy at the gym. He loses his Mustang, which is the only thing his father left him, I guess. And he's What do you think of Michael B. Jordan?
As personally, or just as an actor, as Creed?
You hang out with him at all?
No,
No, as Creed.
I mean, as Creed,
Killmonger, great. We all know that. But.
I think he did a great job. I think that Creed, the young Creed, had a particular like young hot-headedness, and I think he pulled that out perfectly. I think it's a great flaw to put in the character. I'm glad that they gave him a great flaw, or like a relatable flaw, or something that everybody can relate to or see and recognize. I think he did a good job. I really don't have any complaints about Michael. I think he did as good of a job taking over, because Rocky is a huge figure, especially for me. A lot of people see Rocky as like, that's my fictional boxing hero. I mean, that's just who he is.
That's what some people like. The only thing they know of boxing is Rocky.
But I think he was able to take over that role perfectly. And I think I couldn't see somebody else playing him other than Michael. So I think he did a fantastic job.
Agreed. I've always had my reservations with Michael. And I don't know why. It's never been justified. Like I don't have any real justification, because he always does extremely well in most things he's put in, and I've heard him in interviews. The guy's like, he's smart, he's intelligent, he knows what he wants from his career. And then this one, it's to step in the shoes of such an icon, and he's there, but now you're the him, of this franchise, so you've got to shine. Pretty impressive, very impressive. I did he go to his dad's trainer first, or his dad's trainer's son first, or did he go to Rocky first? I can't remember.
I think he was I just recently saw it, but I didn't see it when it first came out, so I'm trying to remember. I think he went to his dad's trainer's son first.
Okay.
And was like training there, and then he was like, I don't know if I can train you because I'm training this other guy or something like that. And then so Rocky came into the picture.
The guy who beat him for the car.
I can't remember exactly how it went, but essentially there was some confusion as to who they wanted Rocky to train the other guy too, I think. And then Rocky was like, no, I'm gonna train him. This is Creed's son.
I'm gonna train Creed. I'm gonna keep trying to voice.
I don't think he wanted to train anybody. I don't think he wanted to be back in the business at all. I think he just wanted to whatever. And then because it was Creed.
So, question.
Why are we giggling? What's that?
Is Rocky punch drunk, or is he slow?
I think that's just his swagger. I think Rocky has a swagger that's just
swagger.
slow.
It's
swagger. Yes, it is. It's a slow.
Adrian, I was hoping you would do me the honor of spend the rest of your life with me. I guess that's just kind of the way, marry me,
Just because somebody doesn't sound like they're super intelligent doesn't mean there's a whole lot not going on in their head.
He definitely puts things together and makes it work.
Especially in these movies, in the Creed movies, you can see the wisdom that's there.
Yeah. That
comes out. And it's so... I think it's...
Because Mickey was amazing, and he wasn't like the most...
And Mickey was just super mad all the time. It's like, it's just one of the,
Get in there, Rocky! Mess him up!
Like, it was just the strangest thing to see this little guy so angry all the time. But Rocky's a little way calmer. He's just a little bit more... He's like a different style. And I think there's like a wisdom in him, and like a simpleness that's not stupid. It's just... He understands plainly.
Yes.
If that makes sense. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Understanding plainly. That's
like Forrest Gump.
Yes. You can go Forrest Gump if you want to. I think it's really cool. I think he did understand. People just didn't understand him because they thought he was slow.
Yeah.
But he understood everything else. He just didn't articulate it in the same way.
Exactly.
And that's what Rocky does. He's just like, hey, he's slow, but it's slow coming out, but it makes perfect sense once it gets there. He's like, you gotta think about it. I think it works. I think it's great.
Maybe I'll find Apollo. Maybe I won't.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be complicated. He's found the secret to life. It's just simple living. Just doesn't have to be complicated.
So the one critique I've heard, and I guess that goes to sorry, got another thought in my brain, but I guess that goes to Sylvester Stallone's incredible like character creating ability, because like that's a flaw, and like otherwise, like I don't think he would be the underdog if he was quote unquote normal, you know. Like, I think that helps him so much. The fact that he is kind of this, you know, jammering, you know, fool. Like he's not like I'm going to walk around here like I'm the best and I'm going to beat you no matter what, you know, that sort of thing. I think that adds to his character. That's his crutch, not crutch, but his flaw, you know. But the critics one of the critiques for this one was predictable.
Yeah, they were like the fights were ridiculously predictable. Yeah, but I think where these, well, I don't jump ahead to the second movie, but both movies are successful because they're human. Yes. They tackle human problems. They tackle flaws. They tackle, and that's why for me the first Rocky was the most successful one out of the bunch. Because he was the most human out of the bunch. He didn't win in that one. He lost. It was about standing up and taking that beating and just at least trying, even if he didn't win. It was about the love story between him and Adrian. I mean, she was a little like introverted, weird, kind of strange, like living with an abusive brother.
What do you mean, Rocky?
Thing too. And the fact that they were able to find each other, these two people who were both kind of outside of the box.
Yes,
as far as everybody else, and then build.
I almost feel like he took advantage of her. Like
he did. It almost looked like he kind of.
She was terrified of him.
He Me Too'd her, like in that, because she had her. I don't want to jump into that movie, but I can't help it because now I'm seeing it. And he's got her up against the door, and she wants to leave, and he's just like, kiss me. Yeah.
I gotta kill Rocky, but it's cold outside.
And it turns weird, but I don't know. I still think the two of them found each other, and as weird as they were,
and they even tried to repeat that here. Like, I don't think Adonis is flawed enough, but that's my personal opinion. But they give it to like his woman he found, Tessa Thompson's character.
I think he was flawed because of his hot-headedness and his inability to.
But like, I guess I'm thinking on the Rocky level.
Well, I think they didn't want to remake Rocky. Exactly. They wanted to give him something else, and they wanted to give him his own thing.
And I guess the fact that he's shrouded in his dad's shadow as well. But his woman has a, kind of a disability.
I don't want to call it that. Because look how talented she is. Look how much she can do.
She is extremely talented.
She has something like that's like I have a zit. That's what she had. She has a zit. Like it's bigger than that.
It is.
But look how successful she's able to be even with
and gorgeous.
And yes, and she's able to be without being like everybody else.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm on borrowed time. She knows she's got a limited amount of time. So she's like living the best as she can in that amount of time.
Like it's golden. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Get it while you can. So yes, she's got something that a lot of people would consider a flaw, and so did Adrian. But I think both of them, strangely enough.
What did Adrian do?
She was just kind of, what did she do?
She worked at a zoo, I think, right?
She worked at a pet store. Pet store. But even though they were both not what you would expect, did you not see the inner strength that both? You laugh. Did you not see the inner strength from both of them?
Not so. Adrian, not in part one.
But it grows.
It grew, yeah. Like
she had an inner strength and was able to support. That was Rocky's rock. Not to make it sound stupid. That was Rocky's rock. Why he could do what he could do because he had her support.
Well, yeah, Tessa Thompson's character. I saw it from the start. Like you can tell, she was no nonsense. Yeah, she didn't want much to do with him. Like she
doesn't play. So that was
Bianca.
That was the perfect thing translating over to now, as opposed to to Adrian's time.
Yeah.
Now that's the kind of woman.
And it fits because like back then, like women kind of
a little meeker, especially for her living with her, emotionally abusive brother,
and especially with Sly coming off of porn. So,
so I mean, it made sense.
Yeah.
So and even though they people would assume that they have this flaw or disability, I think it was something that built an inner strength in both characters.
Yes.
I think they needed that for them to be as strong as they were.
Because he also had to kind of work to accept that and learn and, Yeah,
so, he was in love.
Oh yeah. He's smitten.
Both of them were love. So they accepted each other regardless of what other people may have thought of their significant others. So I think it was perfect that they didn't make her just this perfect person, that they made her human. That's what I'm talking about by when I say human. But it was just everything about the first Rocky and these two Creeds, they lose it in the later Rockies. Let's not lie. They just becomes a superhero.
Which Rocky do you think they lost it in?
Like everything after one, he becomes a superhero. He becomes a superhero basically. But Creed, they stayed with for me, the theme of the first Rocky, which was everybody's flawed, but
they're normal people trying to make their way.
And it made it more relatable. It made everybody able to connect.
Yeah. But this one goes on. Of course, the guy, Pretty Ricky Collin. That's the heavyweight who's having some legal issues, but he wants to make a name for himself by beating the Creed name. Which, how long does it take Michael B. Jordan to embrace that in the part one? Like, I guess Rocky has some talks with him, and then he's just kind of like, yeah, fuck it out. I'm Creed.
Yeah, he didn't want to do it at first, but I figured this was his way to get his shot. So he's like, okay, I'll do it, whatever.
And I have to say, Felicia Rashad as Mrs. Creed, or Adonis's mom, fantastic.
Right.
That woman is a great actress, has always been, regardless of people who may be in jail now. She's fantastic. But yeah, so of course we get in there, and I like how they updated it. Rocky's now in it, he's running a restaurant called Adrian's. He's the guy who's kind of like from Death to Smoochie, who walks around and and entertains the people, and they include all the new technology like esports or not esports, but ESPN and all that stuff, and very cool. But we get to the big fight, and I think this is something that the fights in these are amazing. They do, and Rocky. I guess the Rocky movies always did boxing well. But they make those fights look so realistic. It's
technically realistic, but I think if anybody had a complaint about the movie, is that they knew that he was going to win. I think that's. Yeah, it just seemed
he lost the Creed.
Well, I mean, like in the end.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like they knew he was going to win, so at the end, so that's the only predictable part of the movies that I don't. But see, I don't know if I wouldn't want them to just copy what the first Rocky did.
Yeah.
So I don't know how. I don't think there is an option to correct it, and they have to let him win. So it's almost like, am I going to watch this movie to see him win a boxing match, or am I going to watch him live life and see how he struggles through all these obstacles so that he can?
Well, it was the best part of it, seeing him grow, see him over, because we technically see him lose. We see him lose at the time. The only thing he cares about, the car, but still, it's
all about him chasing that girl.
Yeah,
that's what the movie's really about. It's about him wanting to win that respect, and it's a little bit about his dad, but not really. It's about him, even though it's just a name. Yeah, because he's definitely not the showman that his dad. Why you giggling?
Not at all.
He's not the showman. He's not a showman like his dad is. He's just a boxer. And I think that's that plays in with Rocky. A simple existence. He's just a boxer.
His dad are yin and yang. He's not at all that boasting fellow that his dad was.
But he's a hothead, and I love that he has that flaw. He can't control himself. He gets mad. He punches one of the guys at her whatever musical thing that she's about to do, and it just he's got that. That's a definite flaw. It's relatable. It's understandable. It's you like seeing something wrong with him in a way.
I do,
because you want to see him overcome it. You don't know.
Yeah, and that was that hot-headedness was clearly that was going to be the only way he stayed with her as well. Like, because she was not all about that at all. Yeah, so I guess that will bring us to, unless you had more, I guess we should say go watch or not. For me, clearly go watch.
Absolutely. I think I will say I didn't watch this when it first came out because I was really hesitant about a Rocky movie that didn't have Rocky as the main. Yeah. I mean, the main guy. And I know Rocky's older, but blah, blah, blah. It's still.
And we kept forgetting about the cancer.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a big part of it, too. Like Rocky not wanting to fight anymore. He just wanted to be back with Adrian. And again, it's like even after she's gone, he's still in love.
I got to tell you, I love those scenes where he's sitting at the gravesite and talking to her. That's so good. So him.
Once again, so simple, so perfect. I mean, it's not overly complex. It's just pure and good. Yeah. It's what it should be. And I think that's like, if anything, that's a model for somebody. I mean, you don't have to be overly complicated. You could just be simple. And I don't mean simple as dumb, like people are probably thinking, but just simple as the laugh. Simple as it just.
I don't know what you mean.
It's just a pure thing, you know? It's like you don't have to be overcomplicated. Yeah. You don't have to be able to like solve an equation to understand life. Exactly. You just have to be able to experience it. And to be happy. Like it doesn't. Just experience it. And that's what he's doing. He's just experiencing it.
He accomplished everything he wanted to. While being that person.
Like I said, I didn't watch this at first because I was like, but after seeing it, I get it. It's amazing. They did it perfectly. There's no better way to, I don't want to say like forget about Rocky, but to introduce a new character who's just as good for his own reasons and still have a little bit of that Rocky flavor. Yeah. It was the perfect thing to do. Whoever thought of it, thank you.
Rocky, I think.
Because you nailed it. Yeah. I don't know how because not all of his decisions are the best. I mean, like I'm not a huge Expendable fan. I don't know.
I think those are money grabs.
I didn't hate the latest Rambo, but
I like the escape plan movies.
I didn't love it, but it was still like that's cool to see. Yeah, it seemed more like a gimmick than it did like an actual thing that was. I don't know, but still, I think Creed was perfect. I think they did a perfect job. I don't have any complaints about it, other than the fact that it's predictable. But most movies, when you get to our age and have seen as many movies that we have seen, become predictable. So that's not really a flaw. Go watch Creed.
Go watch Creed for sure. I hate seeing myself. Yeah, number one's my favorite as well. 100%. Number one is my favorite. I do love the Drago fight.
Which one, when he kills Creed or when Rocky beats Drago?
All of it. I love all of that. Is that Rocky? That's Rocky 3, right?
2. I'm sorry, 4.
4? 4?
Yeah, because 2 was when he beat Creed, and 3 was when he fought Mr. T, and then 4 is when he fought Drago.
Yeah. When did he fight Hogan?
Like that was in. Was that 2? That was 2.
I think that was 2. This is like some little expedition.
Pretty sure it was 2. It might have been in the beginning of 3. I can't remember.
Oh, not getting anybody. Let's see here.
Join the conversation.
That's what we want. That's all we want is people to join in on the conversation. I'm torn though because, like I said, I love part 1, but I love the storyline of the Dragos, which is why I think I loved part 2 so much.
I love because they started doing these. I can't remember if it was in 2 when they started, but they started doing these like almost like MTV like montages with music, and it was like that was so good, and it was I love those. It was guilty pleasure. Like if I could just, it's like I don't know what like I can't even think of something that would be a guilty pleasure. Like I don't like chocolate covered bacon, but if that was a guilty pleasure, like that's what it is.
Maple covered bacon is delicious.
Yeah, it's like this weird. Like those video montages are so good.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, that will bring us to Creed 2. Creed 2, 2018, of course. This one starring Sylvester Stallone, Michael B. Jordan, Dolph Lundgren, Tessa Thompson, Florin Munita. That's little Drago. Mm-hmm. Felicia Rashad, Andre Ward, Wood Harris, Russell Hornsby, Brigitte Nelson coming back. This one I really enjoy. I actually like this one more than I liked Creed 1 because, as I just said, I loved the Creed. Not the Creed, the Drago storyline, like of him killing Creed and then him having to fight back. And the fact that they brought this one back, that storyline back, was fantastic for me. Even though some people said that was a logical next step for Creed, you couldn't do anything else. I still very much loved it.
Mr. T, son.
I'm gonna hurt you, fool. I'm gonna hurt you good. But yeah, like this one, I thought. Like we got an example of all these characters, and in part 1, and then part 2 just expounded on that. It didn't just use what we had already learned. It gave everyone this new set of issues, which I very much enjoyed. The kid for the Creed family, also marriage for him, and Rocky now, who has beaten cancer. He now has the issue of dealing with a figure from the past who killed his friend, and now he has the choice he's been like kind of thrusted with the choice of, dude, you're gonna either help me or I don't care about you anymore. Like everyone has these new issues to face, and I loved it. I don't know about you, but
I thought it was very good. Mm-hmm. I can't say I think I still like the first one better.
Gotcha.
I think it's because it was the introduction to it. Mm. I think this one, if any flaw, once again, was that predictability. Yeah, like all the way through it, I thought it was predictable. Like
I gotta tell you, I had to cut you off, but I was surprised when the Creed fight happened an hour into the movie. The first Drago Creed, I thought he was gonna like have some kind of, stupid little bouts up until then. I didn't know that he was going to.
I figured that's what they were going to do. Okay. They were going to knock him down. They had him win in the beginning. Yeah. Of course, they're going to have him lose next, and then they're going to have him win again. Yeah. So Act 1, 2, 3. I mean, they were going. That's what it was obvious, but it doesn't make it any more enjoyable to go see and watch because it's still good. You need to see him get defeated so that he can build himself back up. I mean, should I jump into Batman? Why do we fall, Bruce? So we can pick ourselves back up again. It was just so, I mean, everything about it was obvious, but it was still enjoyable despite the fact that it was predictable.
Yeah, and he got, oh boy, did he get beat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got completely. I do think because Rocky wasn't there, it made it feel like, because Rocky wasn't there, that's why he lost. And then all of a sudden Rocky's there again.
And then he wins, yeah.
But even
but towards the end, I think they cleared that up.
But I loved how at the end, not to jump ahead, but he was like, no, I'm not getting up there to celebrate with you
that's what I'm talking about. This is your time.
This is your time. Yeah. And I love that he stepped down.
And maybe that's what Sylvester Stallone meant when he's like, we're going to retire. I'm retiring the Rocky character. Like, now this is Creed's time, not mine anymore. If they do another Creed, he probably won't be in it. I'm assuming that's what he meant. But yeah, so this one, the Creed family, I kind of went into it already. The Creed family is actually becoming a family, and he proposes to her.
Mm-hmm. But she doesn't hear it.
She doesn't hear it. Yeah,
so horrible. I mean, that's rough.
Yeah, that's.
It doesn't deter him though. He's still in love. He's still.
Yeah. I like how he's like asking Rocky, "What did you do? How did you do it?" I was like, there was a white tiger. There was a tiger. But yeah,
I thought it was funny because like we were at the zoo and it smelled fresh. Yeah, I was like, what?
This is wintertime.
Where is the zoo at that smells fresh?
I feel he has some fresh smelling zoos. But one of my favorite things about this is it wasn't just Rocky and Creed, Adonis and his family. It was the Dragos, and we get to see the villains. Which is one of the reasons I loved Infinity War so much. We get to see the villains are not like at the top of their game. Yeah, little Drago's knocking people out, but they're ostracized. Russia hates them. They're trying to like build something, trying to get back to the glory they were.
They're hungry.
Like they're hungry. Like we see them in like no, that's not a big mansion. It's not the best house. They're in like a little shack. The mother has left them. Like everything is wrong. Like I love that so much. I think that's one of the reasons I like this a lot. But Yeah, it's very cool that they showed that side of it as well, instead of just an all out, Rocky and Creed, and there they go again, beating people, knocking people out. But we do see that. We see lots of that. We see Creed taking people out. We see him become the heavyweight champion. We see him get to his highest point, and as Robert said, gets knocked down to his lowest, basically almost killed. Do you think? So there's a lot of mention of towel throwing in this, and if you're a fan of boxing, then you know that means your coach has the option to throw in the towel and stop the fight. Of course, Rocky failed to do so against Creed, with Creed and Drago back in Rocky 4.
Felt super guilty.
Yeah, and for that reason, it murdered. Creed was murdered in the ring, and we see it again as I can't remember Creed's trainer's son's name, but he fails to throw in the towel for Adonis, and Adonis, gets beaten within an inch of his life. They think he's dead pretty much by Drago. Would you throw in the towel? Like, do you think you would have knowing that this person has trained their life for this?
If I actually knew the sport as well as a trainer should, and was watching and saw that the dude was about to die, yeah, I would throw in the towel. I know he'd be pissed at me, but I'm like, I'd be okay with that because I would feel like I saved his life or saved him from having a disability because he just got the crap beat out of him. So now he can't see out of his left eye, or
piss blood.
Now he can't use his leg. I don't know, whatever happens. But I would probably throw in the towel. And I think it was brilliant what they did with that, especially at the end of the movie. With
I was
Drago.
not a fan.
I thought it was really good. I thought that it showed because the entire movie you saw. The Dragos, if that's how you pronounce it, I'm
Drago. Yeah.
You know what I mean. The Dragos, as this dark, ominous, hungry. I'm going to beat you up no matter what. We don't care what the cost. We will break you. Even the dad, he's like, when I tell you to run faster, you run faster. He cuts him off with the truck because he's like following him with the truck. He's like, when I tell you to run faster, you run faster. And the son does it.
He's not showing his son love.
He tortures his kid to become a beast. Mm-hmm. And granted, he is a beast. It's ridiculous how large this guy is. He is a monster. I wouldn't get in the ring with him if I had an army. So it's crazy to see that. And then at the end, finally, after all that hate and I'm hunger, you finally see a little bit of compassion. He cares for his son. You may hate that, but I thought that
I get it. I get it all because beautiful. And you can even throw even more on that by his son feels that his dad's just consumed by just trying to get back in the good graces of Russia.
But that wasn't his only thing, though. He cared about his son too.
But here's the thing: I'm more of a UFC fan than a boxing fan, but still, I get it. Drago's son would have won that fight if it wouldn't have been stopped.
The first one or the second one?
The second one.
No,
I think he would have won it because
he was out. He was a massive man.
He was still on his feet in that corner.
He was used. He was out.
He had enough power. He never fell.
This is the classic argument guys have with sports.
But he was awesome. In the corner getting his face knocked in. Yes, but when his dad threw the towel in,
his dad was a trainer. He sees things that we don't see.
His dad threw the towel in.
His son. He knew his son. He knew his abilities, and he saw his son getting the crap beat out of him, and he realized he's not going to be able to do it.
They just used it for love. because he won 10 out of the 12 rounds.
But he always won within the first
he was tired.
Rounds.
Yeah, he was gassed.
Just was worn out. He was not built for the long haul.
Yeah.
And that's what this desert training was all about for Adonis to become the beast that he had to become to be able to beat the guy who can't go more than 3 or 4 rounds.
Yeah.
the Minuteman, the 3-Minute Man. He had that's what that was all about.
I get all of that.
And there was a juxtaposition because in Rocky, supposedly he comes back to train him, even though he just watched him get the crap beat out of him. He should have been more compassionate, but like, you would expect him to be like, you know what, you can't beat this guy. He's a beast. He's like 5 times your size.
Which is what he was trying to get across to him.
Why would you even fight him in the first place? You're crazy. But you know what he does? Instead of doing that, they're the complete opposite. He's like, you know what? Let's fight him. If you're going to do this, you're going to do it all the way. Even his wife was like, you better win. He's like, there's no other option. You better win. You better die. You better win. Basically, you know, it's like, so he did it. He was forced into doing it. And that was almost like ruthless. That was almost like that tough love.
Rocky became Drago.
He's like, you should have, he's like, he forced him to win by being rough on him and not like patting him on the back saying, it's okay, son. Yeah. You can do better next time. He was like, no, you're going to do better. You're going to train with prisoners who just got out of jail.
They might take you.
And you're going to put your foot in that tire. You're not going to step out of that tire.
Side note, that I found a freaking MMA that is, they tie your hand to one arm together in an arm wrestle position.
You're talking about like in
on
the
a table.
Michael Jackson video?
No, this is legit. You're like, it looks like they're about to arm wrestle. So this one arm is tied together, and then the fight starts.
They give him shanks?
No, they just start fighting each other.
Okay, it's not like the Michael Jackson.
One arm is tied together, kicks and everything, but this arm is still tied.
Yeah, you can't get it right. You gotta stay in the pocket.
In that one spot, and it's kind of like what they did in this one.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, I thought that part was great. They changed it up. They went.
But if he would have like fell to the ground or stumbled or hit the mat a little bit, I would agree. I just hate the fact that he's like,
he was in the corner. He wasn't going anywhere. He was getting the crap beat out of him. He wasn't even defending anymore. He was just getting the crap beat out of him. But
like legit seconds after his dad threw the towel in and came in and tried to hug him, he's still got enough power and enough cognizance to push his dad off. Like, no. Like he was fine. He was still out there.
I think older Drago saw the hunger that was in Creed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And was like,
for sure.
And it wasn't just about maybe his son could have survived and maybe won with the judge, but it was like he showed compassion.
I'm being dumb.
He showed compassion. He said,
which he had never done,
but she wasn't doing before. Yeah. And after his wife left, or his ex-wife or whatever she was, the mother of young Drago,
not aged well.
She once she left, he was like, you know what? Nobody else cares about us but us. Yeah. I care about you. Throwing the towel.
And like I said, and that's part of what I loved about this one is like we get to see these otherwise emotionless characters like the Dragos like show emotion. So I
thought it was perfectly done. Yeah, it's what they should have done. Because you have written it any other way and have it be. Yep. You're like, yeah, I guess. Would it have been as successful?
No, not at all.
I think they went the right route.
But Michael B. Jordan be dead.
Then you know what? If they ever end, they should have ended like that though.
I agree.
Because you can't just. There's no other way to end it if you think about it.
No.
Other than just fading out and having be an old guy and then training some new guy. You can't keep doing that forever.
You can't keep
like someone's got to die eventually.
Maybe his daughter will become a boxer.
You know what? That's going to be like the next Karate Kid though, where it's like the female Karate Kid.
True. Look at Muhammad Ali's daughter. She's amazing. But yeah, we skipped a lot.
Yeah, we jumped around. It's kind of hard not to because
like you said, these movies are predictable. You go and you sit down and you kind of know.
But you come out of the movie feeling pumped.
Yeah.
You feel like you want to punch somebody.
Because it's not just about the fights.
Lightly.
Yeah.
I've not heard that.
It's not just about the fights. It's everything in between. It's the characters developing, growing, learning to be these new, better people. And they do a fantastic job of that.
It's all about conquering hurdles.
Yep.
That's all I see in these movies. Just people conquering hurdles.
You don't have to be spectacular, even though.
But it helps to be like Michael B. Jordan and super cut.
I was going to say, I dream of having a cut body like that. I think it was CG'd on. But
he was cut. And even Drago was like crazy,
massive. Yeah.
Like that's not what the old Drago looked like.
I was thinking he was gonna knock his dad out. Like,
yeah, I thought they were gonna get in a fight.
And I also thought about that. Like, I was like, that's funny you mentioned that. I said, if you look at like the old Rockies and the new Creeds, like the old Rockies were like, that was like the pinnacle of what a man could look like. Like, and Apollo looked like a normal dude.
Right? And now they're all like these just rippled monsters that have like literally carved out of marble. Like
but go watch Sir.
Absolutely. Nice. Even though it's predictable, it's still super enjoyable, and that's what it's supposed to be. It's like watching, like, I don't know if people rewatch sports games. I don't think they do. Maybe they do.
Probably not.
But it's like, even if you know what's going to happen, it's still exciting to see it happen. Yeah. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess there's certain fights I watch for UFC rewatch. So, but yeah,
they're still good. It's a good movie.
Yeah,
and the human element is what brings it home. Without the human element, I don't think it would be as successful. It would just be another like sports film where people win.
For sure.
And you don't want to always see that. You want to see flaws. You want to see struggle. You want to see people overcome something. And both of these movies, Creed 1 and 2, give you that. So I'd say definitely go watch.
Agreed. I will definitely say go watch. I guess that will be the end of this episode. I apologize for the Mortal Engines confusion. Mm-hmm. I jumped the gun on that one, but Creed is more than good enough. 1 and 2, more than good enough to fill that void. Where can you find us? You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, under Go Watch a Movie. You can find us on iTunes, Go Watch a Movie. You can find us at gowatchamovie.podbean.com. You can find us at Spreaker, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube. All those places, just search Go Watch a Movie podcast or something like that, and you will find us. And if you have any comments or suggestions, I guess I need to go put out an announcement about live ahead of time. But we would love to hear comments and suggestions and things like that. But yeah, let's Go Watch a Movie, episode 63. I'm Kelvin.
And I'm Robert.
Go watch a movie. Yo, Robert, we did it! Yeah.